This week we are going to create symmetrical butterflies. When something is symmetrical or showing symmetry, that means it's the same on both sides. If you look at a real butterfly, the patterns on their wings are usually the same on both sides. If something isn't the same on both sides, it's called asymmetrical. But we're going to focus today on how you can make a butterfly with symmetry. You could use the art methods you learned today to make anything symmetrical, anything you want to draw that would be the same on both sides. Let's get started. The first step to make our symmetrical butterflies is to take our piece of paper and fold it in half. Match up your edges and press down. And we want to make sure we know which side is the folded edge. So it's really important because we're going to start drawing from the side, but it's important that you make sure you're drawing from the folded edge. So you have to figure out which side is open. This is the side that's open, so I don't want to draw from that side. I want to draw from the folded edge. So make sure you're drawing from the folded side. So if you have crayons or oil pastels, I would suggest trying those. But crayon and pencils also work. We are going to find the folded edge and we're going to draw just half of a butterfly. So we don't need to draw the whole thing. We're only going to draw half. And if you look at the worksheets I provided in the learning plan, those might help you come up with ideas if you want to draw your butterfly realistic, or you can make up your own design. So I'm going to start with the butterfly's head, and it's on the folded edge, and I'm just going to draw half the head. So that's just a half circle. So press down as hard as you can with your drawing tool because that will make it a lot easier. Ooh. My oil pastel just broke. That happens sometimes. I'm just going to draw with the little piece of it now. So something like this, however you want to do it. Sometimes I make the body a lot more simple and I just do the circle for the head and one long shape for the body. So it depends how intricate you want to get with it. And I'm going to draw an antenna. Now for the wings. So I have my basic butterfly shape now, and I'm just going over those lines again. And before you unfold your paper, you might want to add some designs, patterns, lines, and shapes to show where the wing veins and cells are. So you can go ahead and do that next. However you want to do it, you can use lines, you can use shapes. If you want to look at a picture of a real butterfly while you're doing it to make it more realistic, that would be a great idea. Or you can just do what I'm doing and kind of make up your own design. It's up to you as the artist. So I have half of my design drawn. So what you're going to do now is you're going to unfold your paper, and you should have half of your drawing and the other half is blank. If you accidentally drew on the edge that wasn't folded, you'll end up with something like this and you'll want to start again. But hopefully if you've drawn from the folded edge, you'll be ready to do the next step. And the next step is you're going to fold your paper now the other way so that your drawing is inside of the folded paper. And here's where you need your muscles. So, you can use your hands to start pressing down, but I like to use something to help me press it. I happen to have this handy tool so I can use the edge of it. Something that's hard and smooth will work best because you really just want to kind of press on your paper everywhere that you had some lines drawn. This is a breakable thing, so just make sure you're being really careful or ask for help or permission if you need it. So I'm going to kind of stop and see how it's going. So I'm just going to open my paper and see if it's working. What you want is for this to happen. You want your drawing to show up on the other side of your paper enough so you can see it and trace over it. If it's not showing up that good, you can always go over your drawing again on this side and make it darker, and that way your drawing will more likely transfer to the other side. So let me see, what parts do I need to go over? And this would work with pencil or crayon or whatever you're using. So if I'm using a pencil instead, I had already started to kind of go over these lines because they didn't show up the first time. So again, just like with the oil pastel, if it's not showing up right away, you can use your pencil and just kind of go over it again and again, and same with a crayon. The only thing about using a pencil or a crayon, you have to press a little harder than you would with the oil pastel, so just something to keep in mind. If it's not working well, just do it again and go over your lines, and then we'll try again. Remember, oil pastel can make your hands pretty messy, so you might want to wash them first. Or just be really careful in your working area. So pressing, pressing, pressing. All right, now I feel like it's enough where I can actually trace over the line. So I don't need to press it too much more because I can see where I need to draw. So now I'm going to go back and trace over those lines. So now my butterfly is the same on both sides. It's symmetrical. So as usual, you can color your picture however you want. You can use markers, crayons. I like to use watercolors inside the oil pastel. We've talked about it in other videos, but the watercolors will resist the oil pastel and help it stay in the lines. If you're keeping it symmetrical, you will want to match the colors on both sides too. So think about that as you're adding your color today. So you can really use these tricks to make anything symmetrical. It doesn't have to be just a butterfly. You may decide to cut your butterfly out too. If you do, I suggest coloring it first and then cutting it out. The reason it's easier to color first before you cut out is because that way when you get to the edges like this, you'll have the paper to color on. But because I did cut mine out first, I'm going to do it carefully. So that for the antennas, you could either cut them out separate and glue them on later, or just kind of go around them like I am here. Enjoy making your symmetrical butterflies, artists, or whatever you decide to make that's the same on both sides. Have fun and see you next time.